Hi everyone, this is Stephen LeVar Cord from Color of Love Production Acting Group, and I wanted to take this video today and bring to you to help you as a creative writer find your niche. So as a screenwriter, we have different genres that we like to write about. We have your horror, you have your romance, you have your uh, action, so these are different genres that you have to approach whenever you're writing your screenplay. Even authors who write novels, they have to take that different genre to create their story. So when it comes to writing your screenplay, this is how I help young filmmakers or young screenwriters find their niche. Okay, so you may be thinking to yourself, well, I have a great idea for a movie and I want to write it down, but I don't know how I'm going to take that idea and create a screenplay from it. Okay, so I want you to think about this. It's three things that I use. First thing is I want you to think about the industry. I don't know if it's going to show right here, and I'll probably put it up on the screen. But I want you to think about the industry. Think about what interests you. Okay, for example, is it hairstyling that interests you? Is it the beauty industry? Is it the finance industry? Is it the love, industry? Is it about love? Is it the spiritual industry? Is it the car industry? So I want you to think about your industry. What excites you? What do you have an interest in? Or what do you have a passion for? What do you talk to your friends about? What are some of the things that you go online and you research? What are some of the things that keep your attention that you can talk about forever and a day and just never get tired? You can wake up in the morning and it's the first thing you think of, or it's the last thing you think about before you go to bed, or you may even take your lunch break if you work in a corporate job 9 to 5, or just any job that you dislike, and you take that lunch break and you're just thinking about this industry. What excites you? So the next thing, after you get your industry, and for some of you who may already have your idea of what you want to write about, the industry, then that's great. But for some of you who don't, and you know that you want to write a screenplay, then this is how you find it. But I think this is useful for everybody. I still reference this now. Whenever I'm writing a story, I try to think about these things because these help you get the structure of your story. We can have an idea all day, but sometimes when we get to the screen, it may not come out the way we have it in our heads. So, I use these three things to help me bring my idea to life. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the pain points. What is the problem in that industry that needs solving? So if you are in the hair business, what are some of the problems that industry needs to be solved? Like, okay, for instance, maybe a customer comes in and they probably want to know, they probably want I don't know, I'm just going off the top of my head, they probably want like a 3-point sewing. I don't know what a 3-point sewing is, but maybe some of you do. Okay, bad example. Okay, so I love romantic comedies. That's kind of my genre, okay? So that's my industry, romantic comedies. I think about the pain points. What are some of the things that people face when it comes to love? How to find a date, how to give a gift, how to get the one that you like, your crush, how to get their attention, how to get them to go on a date with you, how to fall in love, how to be in a relationship. Those are the things that excite me in that industry. Those are the problems that face what excites me in that industry, if that makes sense. So from there, you know, I have my problems of that industry. So whenever I'm coming up with a movie idea or I need inspiration, I'll think of the industry, my genre, if I want to step outside of romance. So romance is my industry. My pain points are, how do I solve a problem for that specific industry? So I list all of the problems or my interests within that industry. I'll list all the interests. I'll find out how to help people solve that problem. What are the problems that's facing that thing? So if it's dating, what are some of the problems that people face in dating? Okay, what are some of the things that people that you can what are some of the things that people have trouble with when it comes to dating? You know, how do they get someone's attention? How do they you know, how do they get someone to like them, for example? Okay, so once you get your industry down, the thing that interests you, and it could even be something that your friends probably talk about that you have an interest in that you never actually did before. It could be like skydiving. That could be an industry, and you have never tried it, but maybe you want to write a story about it. You know, you don't have to necessarily have experience with that industry, but it's good to do your research. So if you have the industry, what are some of the problems with skydiving? Maybe how does one face their fears to go skydiving? How does one go through the steps of skydiving? So those are the pain points with skydiving. What are some of the things that can happen when you go skydiving? You know, what are some of the good things? You may get an adrenaline rush. What are some of the negative things that you may get with skydiving? So you see where I'm going with that? So you have your industry. What interests you? It could be a hobby, something you love. What are the pain points of that industry? So what problem needs to be solved in that industry? The next thing I like to do is the skills. So what skills do you have, or what skills have you researched that can be used to solve that problem for that industry? Does this make sense? Let me know. So if you have a specific skill, and it's hot like crazy, but I'm sitting here in the sun because, you know, I'm getting the energy now and I just want to give that to you. So if you have the skills, so okay, for example, in the romance, I'm gonna tie it back to that. Love is something that interests me. How do you find love? That could be a movie I'm writing. Okay, how does the main character find love? So I would research or go by my experience. Because a lot of you probably been in numerous relationships. You can take stuff from your own personal life if you don't feel like researching. Because a lot of times, if someone wants to write a story that's real from the heart, they'll take real life experiences. So maybe write down some of the real life experiences that you have been through with your relationship, whether it's been good or whether it's been bad. And for me, I haven't been in a whole bunch of relationships, but whenever I'm writing my films, I'll research the joys of relationships, or like, you know, the negative difficulties with relationships, and then I also will take from my own personal experience. So those are skills that I have, skills that I get to solve those pain points in my industry. So as a screenwriter, if you want to find your niche, you have to take your industry, what interests you, the pain points of that industry, so what problem needs to be solved, the skills, so what skills or what life experiences that you have that you can research, or what can you bring to solve that problem of that industry. So that is how I go about to find my niche whenever I'm writing a screenplay, or whenever I'm helping students find their niche for a screenplay. So that is niche, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.